because I'm going to turn it over to her in a second.
Hey,
Oh,
Richard, can you double check your mic because it sounds a little muted on this
Yeah, you
side?
sound a little muffled there, Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, a little muffled.
all right. Let me check my sound. Audio settings. All right. So you're saying I sound muffled, eh?
That's a little
Yeah,
better.
that's actually a little better. Yeah.
Better.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I want to introduce Brandy. As you know, Brandy got us started each day on session one, day one, and day two, and now day three. And Brandy, she's at brandyvale.com. She is my executive coach. Okay. So she has this 6-week mindful mentor program. I just went through that and it's been amazing. So we got connected and I'm so logical and left brain, having the opportunity to bring Brandy in and bring in this intuitive right brain, uh, side of our abilities is perfect. And that's what she's been doing as far as opening up our events, is helping us get ready to learn. Isn't that right, Brandy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when I first met Richard and we had our first call, just to give you a brief of what I do, I'm also an NLP practitioner. I work with neurolinguistics programming. So a lot of the time when I'm working with clients, I'm listening to them and I'm noticing their body language. And when I first met Richard, I had to ask him, I said, well, where's your camera? Right? Because we're all kind of either looking up these days or we're looking down, and we don't have a full eye contact because of our equipment, which is very strange, right? But if you think about your own personal relationships in general, are you talking like this? Are you looking around when you're having a conversation? Is your eye to the right or is it to the left? It shows a lot about where you are in the present moment. I mean, how many of us, by show of hands, can really say we have eye to eye contact with people when we're communicating? It's a challenge, and it immediately talks about trust, right? Would you agree? I know, Richard, would you agree with that?
For sure. And sometimes the challenge with Zoom is I'm looking at the screen and my camera's down here. That's what we figured out. In fact, for today, I've lifted up my camera's over here. Usually my laptop is lower and now it looks like I'm looking up or down or something.
Yeah. And I'm bringing it up before we go into this brain yoga exercise, because when our brain is distracted with our internal conversation, we're not really learning, right? What do we have to do? How much laundry do we have? What's money in the bank? What are we going to eat for lunch? But when you're really present, you're able to get the fullness of the education that's coming in. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a breathing exercise. At first, hi Willie, nice to see you. At first I was going to go into a standing position, but I realized most people may not be at the level um, that some others are. So we're going to start with a basic exercise today to shift you into focus and concentration. And in order to do this, it may feel a little different. Your body may tingle a little bit. You might have some sensations where you feel a little heated, but just know that the body is doing what it needs to do to function at a high level. Okay. And if it's going too fast for you, just go at your own pace, but just know that it's safe. I do have two individuals who, if you are pregnant or if you have epilepsy, I would suggest just breathing normal and just be a part of the practice, but don't do the full on practice. Okay. All right. So with that being said, why don't we bring our awareness to the screen? And this program, again, is all about exercising and giving you brain power. It's for memory and concentration. And the benefits behind this are the working principles of the breathing exercise. We breathe every single day, but we don't do it intentionally. And so what we're doing is bringing oxygen to the brain and into the body to increase intelligence and memory and learning concentration easy. So the first portion of the exercise is we're going to take 10 breaths in, and I'll give you an example of what that looks like right now. So we're going to have our mouth open, and it looks something like this. And then exhale, inhale, exhale. You're going to breathe all the way in so that your belly fully expands and your chest expands as well. And then on the top of the breath, you're going to fully exhale. Okay, we're going to do that for 10 breaths. Usually on a normal practice, I'll do this for 30 breaths, but I want to make sure everybody's okay with this beginning portion. On the second portion, we're going to go into the retention of the breath for 5 seconds at the bottom. So on the last breath in, on the bottom, the exhale, we hold for 5 counts. And then you'll start to feel the sensation, and then you'll go into the last portion. It takes about 3 minutes to do this program. It's really short, and you can do it throughout the day when you're feeling sluggish, if you've been on the computer too long, or if you just want to wake up and feel connected with yourself. So if we don't have any questions, does anybody have any questions so far before we begin the activity?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nope.
Tell us what-
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to just bring in a little bit of music. Let me know if that you can hear me still while we're in the process. All right. How's the music and my voice at the same time? Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we'll just begin on the top of the breath, just getting comfortable in your seat. And we're going to inhale with our mouth open. Inhale. Exhale. 10 counts. Count of 8 and 10. Exhale, holding for 5 counts all the way. Keep it. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And gently begin the breath again for 10 counts in. Maybe feeling lightheaded, it's okay. Inhale. Two more. Fully exhale. 5, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to inhale all the way in, and we're going to hold for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. Breathe normally, relaxing. How is everyone feeling? Just breathing normal. This is the first round. We're going to be doing 2 rounds. We're going to do the 10 breaths in, and then hold on the 5, and then we'll hold at another 5, and then we'll be complete with this session. Are you guys ready? Feeling kind of grounded? Everybody still with me? Did you pass out yet? Can you feel the blood just circulating through your skin? Everybody's getting a little bit of a glow here. The brain is waking up. So we're just balancing a little bit more here. We'll begin in just a second. And let's begin again. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale all the way. Exhale. Hold for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 2. Exhale. Holding on to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring it all the way in, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. And gently just be with that for a moment. Feel how you're feeling in the concentration, boosting energy, and you didn't even have to get up out of your seat. How is everyone feeling? By a show of hands, you can wiggle them around. I'm here, I'm present, I'm ready for the day. And by that, my name is Brandy Bale. If you have any questions or concerns, be sure to show you. Email me or post in the comments how you're feeling. How was that exercise for you so that we are fully aware of what we're presenting here. The 7-Figure Lifestyle Business Summit. Thank you so much, everyone. Round of applause for Tim and Richard. Thank you for having me once again. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Brandy.
How's everyone feeling? Richard, are you there? How are you feeling?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Your audio is not as loud as normal.
I wish I knew what I could do with my. Yeah. Okay, this is Richard.
That's better.
1, 2, 3.
That's better, yeah.
I'll speak louder, I guess.
I guess.
Okay. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, everybody. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Yeah, that was that's those I'm still, it's a stretch for me doing those breathing exercises. That was there's Brandy. Can you see Brandy there? Want to share something else here. Want to share my workbook. All right. We have a day 3 workbook. We went ahead and emailed you a link to that this morning. It is posted in the group. Tim, how do people find the workbook in the group?
Yeah, so you click on units and go to day 3 and the workbook is there. And yeah, some of you guys might be watching this inside that unit day 3. So you just scroll down to find it.
Okay, and there's a link where you can download either the PDF version or the Word doc version. Also, I think the PDF version is actually posted in the group as well.
Yep.
And by the way, it's the same Google Doc link that we sent you yesterday. So that will be where you'll find your workbook tomorrow. Same link if you go to that Google Doc, right? Right, Tim? You're putting them all in the same?
Correct. Yeah, they're on the Google Drive. Yep. Same Google Drive for every day. Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So today's going to be great. Everybody should realize that this is a process that we're going through. It's a step-by-step process. So if you have not gone through day 1 and day 2 and you're just joining us for day 3, you're not getting the process. Okay, it's great to have you, but for all of you that have not been with us live or have actually gone through the replay before you hit the next session, we want you to go ahead and do that. And so your assignment, if you haven't gone through all the sessions, do that before tomorrow, okay? And me and Tim came up with some incentives for you to do that, because we want you to get the most out of this program. So tomorrow we're going to describe a $7,500 grand prize package, a package worth $7,500 that I'm putting together, and we'll describe it tomorrow. But you basically earn an entry into winning that every time you complete your units, right, Tim? People complete their units, and then we're gonna get everybody who's the more completions you have, the more entries you have in the drawing, correct, Tim?
That's correct. Yeah. So Facebook, as you don't already know, is tracking all of us, right? And so they're able to give us a report of everyone who are engaging with us throughout this challenge, as well as everyone who finishes, each of the units. So the more units that you complete, the more chances, right? So each unit that you complete, give you a chance to win our grand prize that we'll be announcing tomorrow. Trust me, it's really good. So make sure you want to complete all of all of your units. What that means is that you're either watching this live or watching this on a replay, and then doing your homework assignments as well. And then so we take the reports from Facebook that they're giving us, and then that's where we're going to be doing our drawing based on.
Okay.
So yes, the more engagement, the more you complete your units, the better.
Yeah, just do everything you can to go through the process with us. And thank you for being on live right now. And that's the best way to do it. If you have the time, be on live, and if you have time, watch the replay, because I've been doing that, and I pick up. Of course, you always pick up a lot more in the replay as well. That's just going to support you. It's not required, but it's suggestion. So for today, we have some exercises to go through today on working on our 7-figure lifestyle business vision. And this thing right here that you see on the screen, 7 steps to success. This was actually created. I pulled this out of my the Ultimate Strategy, my home study course called the Ultimate Strategy, and then I have another course called the Free and Clear Cash Machine, all about the Ultimate Strategy. And this is basically my jumpstart module for when I start teaching people stuff. I want them to know, how to achieve goals. So of course, that's all we're talking about during these 5 days is working on your goal. But notice number 1 is select your destination, decide on your goals, okay? Clarify your values. We're going to do that today, related to your career, what you do, okay? And we want you to get in touch with that. What's most important to you? We've already been doing that. Yesterday, we did a lot of that, getting in touch with what's most important to you. And then create goals on what you want to have, be, and do. So we started working on that yesterday, right? And then commit to deadlines for the successful completion of your goals. So Tim, do you remember yesterday we're all going to work on a goal? What's the date this goal is going to happen?
September 1st, 2025. Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, we're also going to help you start working on making your plan. But the main thing is, if we can get you really clear on, show you the best way to create a future memory, it almost happens automatically. All the other work just happens if you do this. The reason why we're spending so much time walking you through a specific process for creating this vision, creating this future memory, is because when you do it that well, with that much intention, that specifically, it almost actually, there's nothing else to do. You just follow your path because you'll be guided towards it naturally without even trying. That's how it kind of works. Okay. So let's see. All right. So today, all right. So back, just as a recap, the purpose of this challenge is to help you create the ideal results you desire most in your business life and start living your preferred lifestyle right away and spend time each week doing exactly what you want. So that's the vision that we're going to create today. Okay. that you're actually living your preferred lifestyle and spending your time exactly how you want with that how that's going to look 5 years from now. Okay. So the 5-step formula for success, the first step is set a goal. That's what we're going to work on today. Okay. And then what is that goal? Well, basically, it's what your vision of having a 7-figure lifestyle business as a creative real estate entrepreneur, living your preferred lifestyle, spending your time exactly how you want, and having financial freedom, you're financially sound is one way to put it. That's another one we didn't mention yesterday. Basically, you're financially comfortable, I would say. So that whatever it, now this is an idea, but I'm actually going to have you go out 5 years from now on your timeline. I'm going to show you how your timeline's set up, and we're actually going to see what's out there. And then if it's not exactly what you want already, because we've already actually been working on this from an unconscious standpoint, you go out there. If you don't like exactly what you see, if it's not exactly what you want, then we'll be able to change that and work on the things that would prevent it from being exactly how you want it. So we're going to talk about how your mind works. Okay. My company is Mindstorm Marketing, and we're going to talk about your conscious mind and your unconscious mind, and a little bit about what you could call the superconscious mind. Now, we got Willie's on the line. We got Brandy on the line. I mean, there's other people that can actually explain the 3 minds better than me, but I'm going to just give you what I know, which applies to our process. So the process is our next step, talking about when do you want this vision. Okay, we actually already said it's a 5-year goal, because a goal has to have a time frame. So there's a difference between goals and values. Okay, so a goal by definition requires time. It's an event in the future. We create the vision now, but it's an event in the future. It's a dream with a deadline. Okay, so Willie said this, I think, last night on the expert panel, which was great. We had a fabulous time last night. We have another one tonight with different experts. So, but a goal is not an intention. Okay, it's a specific thing that is measurable. We'll talk about what a SMART goal is. And then it's not a feeling or a state of mind. So we asked yesterday when people were saying, what do you want? And someone said peace of mind, right? That's how do you create a goal out of that? Okay. Peace of mind is a feeling. It's really a value. Okay. So a goal is not a state of mind. It's not a feeling like happy, joyful, excited. I want to be more excited. I want to be more motivated. That's not a goal. That's a value. So we're going to get really clear on your values today, right? So Tim, let me ask you. In fact, I'll ask everybody, but Tim, I want to talk to you. How many people would like to have more confidence?
For sure, yeah.
Okay, so Tim, do you remember the last time you felt confident? I mean, a specific time, a time where you were really confident in yourself and your abilities and what was going on?
Okay, yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. You remember at specific time what you were doing? Remember? You don't have
yes. I mean, I have many moments, many of those times, so I'll just pick a specific one, okay?
that one?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Now, how do you feel?
It feels good, yeah. Yeah.
Don't you?
Right.
Okay. So,
Richard, your audio is going in and out, just so you know. So you might want to get closer to your mic or something.
okay.
Yeah.
So you feel more confident, right?
Yep. Uh-huh. Just thinking about that moment, yes, put me back in that state. Yes.
Guess what? You can do that with all positive feelings. So if someone wants to be happier, you can feel happier right now. You want to be more motivated? If you're feeling unmotivated, just think of a time when you were motivated and you'll have instant motivation. Okay. All right. So guys, my sound good?
It's better. Yeah. Whenever you move yourself further back, it's when your audio goes out. So yeah, try to stay close to your mic.
Okay. All right. So we're not going to set goals for values, for feelings, because you can have that. Those don't take any time. Okay. So now, how do you control when you achieve your goal? The when or if you achieve your goal is going to be determined by your HABES. And this is what we teach in our coaching, our $1 Million Coaching program that, Willie Hooks helped us put together, I don't know, 15 years ago. When we're working with real estate investors, helping them achieve their goals, we give them all the training, the strategies, the techniques, the tools, the support. Okay. But what we really need to do to help people be successful and achieve their goals is to work on the inner game. So our coaching is all of what you would want in coaching, but it's really focused in on the inner game that's preventing people from doing what they know they should be doing or know how to do. And we call that, your HABES is your habits, your beliefs, and expectations. Okay. And they're already programmed into your unconscious mind. So your potential is limited by your habits, what you habitually do, your attitudes, your beliefs, and expectations. Okay. Now, Tim, wouldn't you agree that is inner game? That is the inner game, isn't
Pretty
it?
much, yeah. That pretty much sums it up right there.
Right. And
Yeah.
so we're not going to work on those today. I mean, that's a lifelong process all the way, but it's understanding how it works. You're able to fix things as you notice what you want to fix or improve. So 90% of your behaviors are created by your unconscious mind. So these are unconscious filters to your real performance. Okay, these things happen without you thinking about it. Okay, so 95% of your behaviors are created by your unconscious mind. 5% of your behaviors are by your conscious mind. So Tim, go ahead and raise your hand in front of your face. Okay. Now you did that consciously. Go ahead and put it down. Okay. So you can consciously do things. You go ahead and think of I can ask you to think of, I asked you to think of last time you felt confident, right?
Right.
You did that consciously, right? But 90% of what we do is outside of our awareness by our unconscious mind. So
right.
So you can now here's the deal. Your behaviors are created 95% by your unconscious, and your behaviors determine your results. So therefore, 95% of the results that you get are created and determined by your unconscious mind. So changing your HABES, your habits, your attitudes, your beliefs, your expectations will change the results you get. So real specifically, what we're going to work on tomorrow is your limiting beliefs or limiting decisions that are holding back your true potential. Okay, your true ability to perform. Okay, and achieve. So that's going to be related to the actual goal we set. We work on today. All right. All right. So we want to be using our brain for a change. And that's, I don't know, is that a pun or something? I don't know. Use your brain for a change. All right. Understanding how your mind works will allow you to take over and control the when and if you're going to achieve your goal. All right. So we got the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and then the superconscious mind. Now, what's a different word for a conscious mind? So there's conscious mind, and then there's subconscious mind. What other terms, you guys, anybody want to chime in? What are other terms for the conscious mind that people use? So it's the conscious mind, subconscious mind. No input?
Intuition.
Intuition. Okay. Your conscious mind. Hmm,
I've
that-
heard the conscious mind also called like the ego mind as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Okay.
The logical mind.
The logical
log-
mind.
Yeah. And then, okay. And then the unconscious mind. Okay. That's okay. The unconscious mind is also called the subconscious mind. That's the one. And Brandy, what are other terms for the unconscious mind?
Well, that because you have superconscious here, but the unconscious is subconscious, right? So that's the thought between the thought, the actual thought. It's a thought in between the thought. Does that make sense? You hear the thought, and then you act upon the thought, and then you become in action with that thought.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I got a little definition here of the conscious mind, which is it's within your awareness. Okay. Yeah. The thinking mind, the critical mind, the left brain, right? The analytical, logical, objective brain. You know, it holds the greatest power to actually make changes, decisions, and thoughts with intention because we can control specifically our conscious mind. We can control what we think about. You control it. And so what you can do is you can consciously reprogram your unconscious mind. Now, everybody has heard about affirmations, right? And how do affirmations work? It's a positive like suggestion that you repeat over and over and over to kind of create those habits, those attitudes, those beliefs, those expectations. You can do that through affirmations and repetition. Okay. One of the problems we have today is the fake news, the mainstream media that reprogram all these viewers with if they're saying something that's not true, if they say it over and over and over and over again, people believe it. Okay. So you want positive repetition. Okay. Another way to reprogram your unconscious mind is through meditation, visualization, symbols, hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, and timelines. So today we're going to talk about using your timeline to program your unconscious mind. Okay, a very simple, quick, easy way to create a future memory, and we call that programming your future. That's one term. What you do is you create a future memory with consciously, okay, with your conscious mind. Then we imprint and install that event onto your unconscious mind, okay, which is what we're going to use as your timeline. Then once you do that, you handle and analyze any of the conflicts or messages that pop up. So if you put something out into your unconscious mind, your timeline, and it's not appropriate for you, or your unconscious doesn't think it fits right, then things will pop up, and then you have the ability to handle those things. All right, and then you can reprogram your unconscious mind to resolve those issues that come up. So we want to realign all your energy towards getting the results and behaviors that you want. So take advantage of the resources and opportunities that come to you through intuition and inspiration. So that is actually coming from, and Brandy, you can help me with this because I'm not an expert on the this super conscious mind, and there's other terms for that as well. But why don't you give me just quickly, what I'm saying is the things that you need when we work on our conscious and unconscious mind, like we're going to do, you have this stuff come up from your super conscious. Can you explain that a little bit, Brandy?
So the brain itself, right, the organ is literally the holder of the energy, if you will, right? So then you're moving past that into an ethereal wave particle. I won't get too much into the science behind this, but ultimately we are an antenna to the superconscious, which is also referred to as the collective conscious, and then the universal conscious, some call many names, God, love, Allah, however you want to refer to it, your higher conscious, the super conscious. So at the end of the day, if you were to equate that to a science level, it's a line that is connected to as far as you want to go into the void. So you bring that wisdom down by doing certain practices like we're doing here today. And you bring that down to, we call it earth, right? Bring it down to earth. And then that goes with the antenna of your brain by thoughts, actions, emotions, and then it's digested just like food turns into energy and then to your body, same thing in form. I call this dimension information, so that you are fully what you think. You've embodied it. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah,
so,
and I'll add something to this, because like how I apply this in business, right? There are, as you all know, you have things that are in your control, in your power, that you can get done, and there are things that that we all worry about that are totally outside of our control, that we that we might not, that we can't get done. So, for example, a friend of mine said it this way that I love it. It just stuck with me. He said that when it comes to business and sales, he's like, I am gonna focus on the numbers, the quantity, and I'll let God work the quality. So it's how you combine your conscious mind and your subconscious mind together to make it work, right? So you're gonna do what's in your power to do, the actions that you can take, and you're gonna leave it up to God, the universe, to take care of the rest. So you don't have to worry about the other part of it, and yeah. So that's how you can sort of apply what Richard is sharing here.
and that relates very good to what we're gonna when we actually create this goal, put it into our timeline, create this future memory, and then actually just let go of the form and allow it to come to us any way we want, right? So that's a good point. All right. So let's go ahead and show you how your timeline's set up, okay? Everybody, I just give about 30 seconds. Go ahead and just stretch, all right? Let's see if I can. Go ahead and do a little stretch, just 30 seconds to get that blood going. All right. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how your timeline is set up. All right. So this is exercise number 2. Does anybody remember what exercise number 1 was? It was actually when we did, what do we want to avoid, be, have, and do? That was exercise number 1. Okay, so exercise number 2 is elicit your timeline. All right. So your timeline is an example of how you store your memories at the unconscious level. It's just a model. It's a metaphor of how it actually happens, because it's not actually how it works. It's a metaphor of how it works. Okay, so let me ask you a question. And listen to my question, and then take the answer that comes up for you. Okay, so if I was to ask you guys and I'll go ahead and look at you guys on video because I want to see this. All right, when I say think about something in the past, if you were to point towards your past, which way would you point? Just go ahead and point in a direction around your body. Go ahead and point. Just whatever comes up. Just go ahead and point. Your past. Think about your past and point towards your past. Okay? All right, good. Now, think about something in the future as something that hasn't happened yet. Where's that? Go ahead and point to the future. Okay? And where's now? Me and you talking right now. Where's that? Where is that? All right. And you notice some people are like in it, right? And some people are actually, it's like in front of them. Okay. Where is now? So now the difference between the past, the now, and the future, does that imply a line? No, Tim? I mean, Tim, which way is your past?
My past is in the back of me. My future's in front.
Okay, isn't that a line?
I guess I am the line, which is the now, right? The now is the line. Yeah.
Yes, you are in your timeline. Okay.
Right.
Okay, now guess what? About half the people have their timeline is front to back, like you, and about the other half of people is side to side. How many are left to right? How many people have a left to right timeline? Yeah, mine's half of us on the video have left. Okay, so have you ever heard anybody say "put your past behind you"?
Yep.
Yeah, they're describing what they're doing in their mind. That's what's great about NLP is you can, when you understand neuro-linguistic programming, people describe exactly what they're doing in their head, and then you can actually, have a lot more better communication with them. So here's okay. So that's your timeline. So next thing is I want you to imagine just leaving. Oh, by the way, what I was saying is, Tim, you are in your timeline right now. You're in the timeline. We call that in time. If you're looking at it, all your time in front of you, like left to right, we call that through time. Okay, which you're actually disassociated from. You're not in. Some people might have left and right, and then actually like a V, and they're in their timeline, or they're now might be right in front of them.
Richard,
No matter how it is for you, it's perfect. Okay? There's no right or wrong answer to how you're done. Did you say?
I have a question. I'm so happy you explained that because I was about to ask you that very question. So if we're going from left to right, left past, right is future, and Tim is front facing, so he's actually not, like you said, he's disassociated, right? And from the timeline itself. So if he were to turn and look at his past, is that what you're explaining? Just so we get clear.
Yeah. Well, for Tim, normally, and by the way, how your timeline is set up can change from in context. So some people, when they're working, they're like left and right because they can, they're planning and it's all logical. And then when they go home, when they're with their loved ones, they're like in the moment, and maybe it can even shift, front to back. So Tim described that his timeline is front to back, and he's in his timeline. Okay, so he is associated to the now, and then left to right. Typically, if it's all in front of you, you are disassociated, and it creates personality characteristics, and it allows you to adjust your language. If you understand some of the characteristics around someone who's in time versus through time, you can create more instant rapport, you can have better communications, all that. But I just want to cover it enough so that we can actually use it, because there's a whole seminar in itself. Okay, and in fact, there's a book by Dr. Tad James, Timeline Therapy and the Basis of Personality. I can recommend that. That gets into day science and all that behind personalities, including timeline. Now, once you have your timeline, what I want you to do is imagine floating up above your timeline. Just imagine leaving your timeline where it is, and in your mind's eye, just imagine floating up above it. Okay, so you're looking down on your timeline. Okay, so look off into the past, and then look off into the future, look down at now, okay? And then go ahead and just imagine floating back down into your body, into your, into now. Is everybody able to do that? Anybody, raise your hand if you had trouble doing that process, that visualization. Did that work for everybody? So that is your timeline, okay? Okay. When I ask Tim, I'll ask you a question, okay? Well, when I ask you a question, Tim, when you come up with an answer, that picture is either going to come up with, okay, imagine day 5 of this event. Where's that?
Okay.
Where's that picture? Day 5.
It's like a couple of feet in front of me.
Exactly. See, the way you know unconsciously that that has not happened yet is the direction it came to you from.
Right.
Remember day 1?
Yep. Yeah, it's like right behind me. That's funny. Yeah.
That is how you unconsciously know the difference between something that has happened and something that hasn't happened. Okay. And guess what? Those are both illusions. Those are just thoughts. Those are just ideas. There's only now. Right? So what happens, Tim, if you think, okay, day 5, you think about how exciting everybody's just overjoyed with the 5-day experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just celebrating and they're all happy doing high fives and all that. You can imagine that, right? And then you can actually, by putting it in your timeline, you can actually make that happen. Because what you need, if you put that into your timeline, then the things that have to happen in order for that to occur will pop. And if it's important to you, you'll take those actions and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's something that's going to prevent that from happening, that will pop up and you can take care of that. You can knock it out. You can change it. You can consciously, this is how you consciously program your unconscious. Now there's several things you can do. You can go in the future and create future memories, but you can also go in the past and gather resources and change negative events. Has anybody ever had something in the past that they weren't completely happy about? Right? Something in the past you're not completely happy about, right? All right, you can go, if it has any emotional pull, if it has any negative emotions attached to it, you can actually let those go. You can change how you respond to past events. That's really the power of a lot of the timeline techniques. But what we're going to do today is actually program the future. So exercise number 3 is choose when you will achieve your goal. So we already said what we're going to do is we're going to go up above our timeline and we're going to go out 5 years to September 1st, 2025 and stick our ideal, our vision, our 7-figure lifestyle business vision into the timeline. We're going to actually program it into the timeline. And so we got that. Now, we're not going to cover this right now, but when me and Willie did this 10 years ago, we were all working on financial freedom as a goal. So what we did is we determined what was the dollar amount that would make us financially free. Okay. So we had, because our goal was to acquire that amount of wealth within that time frame. And in this case, that financial freedom didn't have a specific deadline. It was whenever they wanted it, whenever it was going to occur for them. Okay. So we had them list all of their debts, because what they were doing is, how much do you need to pay off all your debts? How much for building your investment portfolios as a store of wealth and for creating that passive income? And how much do you need for owning all the things that you want? So we can get, you can actually get drilled down on that and get really specific on how much money you want and why. And then you can set that as a money goal, right? And so there's a process for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a memory, which we've already decided. We have an idea what we're working on there. So let's talk about this. Before you set a goal, you need to take an inventory of your values. Okay, what's important to you about what you do, your career values. So that's what we're going to do next. And we are going to end on time today. We're not going to go longer than 90 minutes today. Tim says I'm the only one that has enough energy to do that. So But all right. So Brandy, we're at our break, our halfway mark, so to speak, and we're ready for any type of energy boost that we're gonna do real quick.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so let's just start with what we did on the very first day. Very simple practice, just to awaken your hands. If you can hear this okay. I want you to really put your thoughts into this. Everything that you want, you can have, you continue to do. But as you clap your hands, it's actually setting the tone in your brain to bring it here. And 2, 3, 4. Notice the top of your brain, and we're going to do a couple more things that we've learned over the last couple of days, and we're just going to breathe. This is a little bit faster, and it's going to be in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to tap right here at the same time, because our vision is what? It's coming true, right? Our vision is what? It's coming true. Again, our vision is what? It's coming true. And so we want to remind ourselves as we breathe the inhale of life, breathing in, exhale out, we're creating it. Breathing it in, it's coming true. Exhale out, we're creating it. And again. In, we're creating, out. Holding in. Top of the breath, 5, 4, 3, and 2, 1. Let it go. Simple rhythmic breathing, reprogramming your mind, getting the energy back, the oxygen still, and being present. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Is that enough time for you, Richard? Did I stay on point?
That was awesome.
If you like that, put in the comments, I like it. If you want more of it, put in the comments, I want more of it.
Absolutely, yes. Give us your feedback on that type of stuff that we're doing. That someone suggested I log off and come back in to fix my audio. Is my audio any better now?
Yeah, your audio is fine now. It was earlier when you were going away from your mic, but since then you've been consistently closer to your mic, so you're good. I think it must have happened when you adjusted your camera settings, and so your mic positioning must have changed from what it was the last couple of days.
Also, I wanted to add in there, see this? This is, maybe you do or do not have this, but I would absolutely suggest everybody get one of these, sit on it throughout your workday. We bounce, right? And, our spine really needs to have that leverage of motion. The little things that you can do, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, and it doesn't take a lot of time. And it's just better for you and your cells. Okay, I'm done.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take an inventory of your values. What's important to you about what you do in your business or career. And we want to set a goal that is in alignment with your values. Okay, so Tim, let me ask you, what's important to you about your career? What's important to you about what you do?
I would say the most important to me about entrepreneurship in general, the most important thing to me about entrepreneurship is freedom. I just love the freedom, the flexibility.
Flexibility. And so here's what I want people to write down. Everybody, you need to write this down in your workbook or on a notepad or somewhere. You need to write these down, okay? This is an exercise. So what we're looking for is words or phrases, Tim, okay, which are what we call nominalizations, which is a word that you can't put into a wheelbarrow.
Okay.
Okay, like freedom, right? Freedom, you can't put you can put examples of freedom maybe in a wheelbarrow, but freedom, is it's not specific, it's intangible kind of, right?
Right.
Kind of what values are. Like so you said freedom, and what else is important?
Flexibility.
Flexibility. What else?
Yeah, contribution is the next one. Like I love making a difference for other people.
What else?
Uh, freedom, flexibility, contribution, making money. So like finance. I don't know how you would say that in a value system, but I guess abundance.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Abundance. You said making money, right?
Right.
Abundance.
Yeah.
So everybody ask yourself this question. What's important to me about what I do? And go ahead and write those words down that come up for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Legacy is another one.
What else is important to you, Tim?
Yeah. Did you get legacy? So I said I put legacy, being a role model, being an inspiration, being inspired. Let me see what else is important to me as a career. Being a team leader, or just being a leader in general. Being part of a team.
Okay, so let me explain what you just did, which I could have predicted. Okay, when you ask somebody what's important to them about whatever, they'll usually give you about 4 or 5 values. Okay, and when you keep asking, you'll come up with another 4 or 5 values.
Right.
Usually, the next layer, that second layer of values, are actually like more important to you. Like it's like your deeper, more deep-seated values. And I know you. I know what's important to you, Tim. So this legacy, being a role model, being inspired, inspiring others, being a leader, having a team. That's what your life is about now, more so than it used to be.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny that you said that. Like your second, your second sort of set of values are the ones that are more important to me. Because I was just thinking about that this morning. Like what is it that I have consistently do or have done in my career? And it's the team, like it's funny that you said that, but yeah, like I look at my career, there was the first part of my career where I was very much about making money, right? And like that's I want to be a millionaire by the time I hit 30. So that was my goal. And so yeah, like now, yes, I mean I still part of business, I still want to make money, but it's not as important to me as being part of a team, making a difference for others. Yes.
And what you're talking about is the hierarchy of your values. So some things are more important to you than others. Mm-hmm. Right. So what's more important, making money or honesty?
Right.
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 Right. So you don't want to do anything that violates your values. When people violate your values, that's when we, have a reaction. And when you violate your own values, right? So we have the ability to actually consciously decide, when we're working on programming our subconscious, we want to put in there what we want, okay? Not what we don't want, because your mind's going to give you whatever you put in there. So remember when we were talking about saying it the way you want it, say it exactly the way you want it. That's what, when we're creating this vision for our 5-year business, we want it exactly the way we want it. So I don't think, now, does anybody, if you wrote down something that's, if you have any values that are not what you want, that might be affecting what you attract in your life. Okay. So I'm trying to think of a value that someone might say that is actually, they're being drawn to something they don't want. So, so what's important to you about business? Well, not getting ripped off, right? If someone says, I don't want to attract this, or I don't want to have this, if that's important to them, they're actually kind of attracting it. All right. So that means there's some timeline work that could be used to change that belief or change that behavior, change those habits, those attitudes, those beliefs, those expectations. We can work on those. So when you want to identify what might be holding you back. So one of the things that we're going to do is when we take go ahead and create your future memory and put it into your timeline, those things that have to be handled might pop up for you. So notice those and write those down, okay? And then it's going to create a direction in your life that will bring you there. So let's talk about how to create a goal. Okay? Because that's what we're going to do. All right. So in your workbook, you have on the last page, it says my vision. This would be a good place to write this down. We're going to go ahead and write down your ideas of what you want to program in your future, just in a simple way, what you want to program into your timeline 5 years from now. We're going to do that now, okay? So we want not only do we want your goal to be smart, we want it to be double smart, okay? And so this is how you create goals. Number one is it should be specific. It should be measurable. So you'll be able to know that you've achieved it. There's some evidence. It should be you should set goals in all areas of your life. Okay. And it should be realistic. Like I said, if someone else has done it, you can do it. Okay. You can also be a pioneer if you want. Because if you don't believe it's possible, then you're not going to take those actions. You're just beating yourself up. And then it's got to be timed. So we already put it, we're going to set one goal for 5 years, September 1st, 2025. That's what we're going to look at. Now that's a smart goal. Now, double smart would be that it's simple. Your goal is simple. It's meaningful, meaning it's relevant and it's in alignment with your values. It's meaningful to you. You're going to write it as if now. So remember, we showed you your timeline, right? Some of you are in your timeline. We're all in the now, but some of us are actually observing the now if we're left to right. Others are in the now when they're in the moment, okay? When you create a goal, you're going to describe it as if it's happening, okay? We're going to go out into the future, go into our body and describe what's happening 5 years from now. So we're going to describe it as if it's, as we're living it, okay? And then R is responsible. Yeah, it should be ecological. Whatever you set should be responsible and ecological. And then, like I say, it should be toward what you want. So it's not what you don't want. It's what's going to bring you toward what you want. Okay, so it should be toward. So that's the definition of a goal. Any questions from Facebook or from our panel here on setting the SMART goals? Or any questions?
So if you guys have any questions around SMART goals or anything that Richard talked about today so far, go ahead and type it in the, for those of you on Facebook, type in the Facebook comments there. And then, of course, those of you who are on Zoom, type it in on Zoom chat. There's Richard, just so you know, whenever we ask the questions, the streaming has a little delay, about 10, 15 seconds delay or so. So it takes a little bit before the people on Facebook actually hear our question.
Okay. Well, here's what I want to do. We're about to do a timeline exercise where we're going to float up above our timeline. We're going to go out into the future, okay? And we're going to go down and see what's there. But we're also going to bring with us what we actually want. So I think we've talked enough about what this goal is. Does everybody have a good idea in their mind right now of what they would like things to look like 5 years from now? Does anybody have any vision on that already? Exactly what you want?
I do, Richard, but I shortened mine to 3 years. I didn't do 5.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you can go out. You'll go out 3 years from now and go in on that time frame. That's great.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to do next. Now, is there any of our experts want to cover anything that we, make any comments before we actually do this exercise on creating our goal in the future, our future memory? Here's
Maybe observing what you're feeling when you're looking at your future desire, right? Your vision. Observe what you're feeling. Sometimes it could seem, because it's great to say, oh, let's go as big as we want to, right? But sometimes we don't have a feeling of joy or happiness when we go there. Sometimes it feels a little shaky, right? Sometimes it feels like, whoa, that might be too much. And then the brain starts to have a new pattern where it says, maybe I don't want that. And then it causes an incongruency in the energy of creating it. Does that make sense? So to just observe how you're feeling when you're looking at this, this wealth that you're wanting to bring into the now.
and here's actually what we're going to do is you're talking about how they're feeling now, looking at it. When we go out and you go into your body 5 years from now, yeah, you're going to notice how you're feeling, what people are saying, what you're seeing, how you're feeling. Okay. And then we want you to actually be excited about achieving this 5-year goal. Okay. So are we ready? We're going to do this. We're going to go out and see what's there. Then we'll get more clear on our vision over the next couple days, and then we'll be able. So we're not done yet. We got a couple more days. By the time we're done, we're going to relook at your 5-year vision to see what's changed. Right now, I want to see what's already out there. You guys ready to do that?
Richard, let me just jump in here a minute and say that every 5 to 10 years, the people cannot see as far out. It used to be you could say go 20 years out and see it. Then people went, no, go 15 years out and see it. At the time we did this, 5 years out was what people can visualize. Now it's like 1 to 3 years. And anything beyond that is a stretch. And it's because the world is moving faster, people's ability to see. So we need to kind of shorten it because it's harder and harder for this new generation to see 5 years out. And it's a big stretch for them.
Well, what would you recommend we go ahead and just do a 3-year vision?
I think people can lock on to that. I mean, you can always poll the audience, but I've adjusted mine to 3 years out, just to be able to make it more real for people.
How many people think it's easier to see than 5?
I tell people, people tend to overestimate what they can get done in a year. They underestimate what they could get done in 3 years. Right? So that's kind of the paradigm that I had shifted to be more effective when I work with humans.
Okay. Does anybody already have a pretty nice idea of what you would like to be doing, being 3 years from now? Does anybody have a 3-year vision already? We're going to help.
I do.
Okay, good. So we're going to go see what's out there, and then we are going to actually work more specifically on creating that vision. There's some homework today that would be useful to go through. One is called $1 Billion Mindstorming. It's a 45-minute video. If you have the time, I would recommend you go through that. It was posted. It's in your handout, and we'll go ahead and post a link in your homework post today, but it was already posted in the group. I think I shared it from my Facebook wall. It's on my YouTube channel, and there's actually several good videos to watch there, but this not the last one, but the second to the last one is called $1 Billion Mindstorming. And it's a very fun and exciting process. I would do it with you guys if we have time. I'm just, I don't think we're going to have time to do all the fun stuff I want to do with you. So that would be great homework. There's also a video called, which we did post in the group. It's in one of your units, by the way, that you want to do this to get your entry into the grand prize drawing, right? Right, Tim? So it's the secret of creating your ideal future. This is a hour and a half webinar that I did with Coach Keith Young, walking you through this creating your future process and some of that $1 billion mindstorming information. So, all right. So go ahead, everybody. Let's imagine floating up above your timeline. Just imagine floating up in the air. So you're looking down on your timeline, okay? And then staying above the timeline, float into the future. Float out into the future 3 years from now. So you're right above 3 years. September 1st is 3 years from now, which is 2023. But just allow and trust your unconscious mind just to take that 3 years and then go down into the timeline 3 years from now. So you're in your body. So you're looking through your own eyes. See what you see, hear what you would hear. You know, what would you be saying to yourself? So this is your business vision 3 years from now, where everything is exactly how you want it. Okay, so you're doing what you want. You are you're excited about the progress that you're making. You're happy about the work you're doing and the lives that you're changing. You know, so what is your business? What you do in your business? How does that look to you 3 years from now? Imagine the things that you would want in that picture. Okay, things that you would, you know, ideally want within your business, right? And then imagine floating back up in your up in the air, and go ahead and turn and look towards now, and notice anything that you need to notice, and then go ahead and float back towards now, and then above now, and then come back down into now. And then I'm interested in hearing anybody wants to share an observation that they had, what they saw or what they noticed doing that. And was everybody able to do it? So let me ask you, Tim, were you able to do that? Oh, he's checking the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking to see who has responded here. But yeah, I was able to, like, for myself, yeah, I was able to you know, sort of float into my future, and then, you know, yeah, look back to my present. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Your mind does not know the difference between the past and the future when you're fully associated, when you're in the now, when you're thinking, when you're in your body describing your what's going on, you're in the now. It could be a notion of the past or a notion of the future, but your mind doesn't know the difference when you're fully associated, right? How does it know the difference? We showed you the timeline, what direction it comes from, right?
Right.
Fully associated, it doesn't know the difference. So you're basically imprinting whatever you imagine. When we go out 3 years and we go down into our body, you can put anything in that memory you want. So that's the next step, is to design the perfect vision for what you want in your business 3 years from now, right? And then we're going to go back on day 5. We're going to go make sure we're going to go out there and we're going to stick it in there and basically we're programming your future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you're programming the, you talked about the 3 resources we have to create: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and then the creative subconscious, or the super collective, conscious mind. So just having the goal is looking at the conscious mind. When you go in the timeline, you're saying let's integrate that into the subconscious mind, so you get the power of the left and the right brain to work toward creating the goal. The mind really wants to know where you're at and where do you want to go. When it's clear on that, it will start to identify unconsciously resources, contacts, and things to make it a reality. It doesn't need to know the detailed steps of how to get there. It really wants to know. It's like a GPS. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? And then it starts to work unconsciously to calculate how you get there. And it moves. And if you bring in the super collective unconsciousness, it starts to bring resources that you would have never imagined to support you in getting where you want to go.
Yeah. That is a very good point. That's awesome. Thank you, Willie. It made me reminded me, I got to tell you guys, I know you're limiting yourself because you're thinking, how am I going to do this? Okay. The how. Forget the how. So between now and tomorrow, I want you to start thinking about your ideal vision without any limitations. Okay. See, this $1 billion mindstorming thing is, okay, if you all of a sudden inherited $987 million and it was put into your bank account, how are you going to spend it? How are you going to spend your days? How are you going to spend your life? If money was no object, what would you be doing? Right? Okay. So that's a good way to start thinking about what's possible. So when you're creating a goal, forget how you're going to do it. How I'm not going to set this goal because I don't know how to do it. Willie just said, you set the goal, then you will see the how. You won't see the how. Like yesterday, Brandy she had already figured out how she was going to go on her yacht. She already figured out the how because it's part of her future already, I think. But it's like, if you haven't created a specific goal, you're not going to do it if you don't believe you can, or I don't know how I'm going to do it, so I'm not going to set the goal. So my advice is set the goal, whatever, decide what you want, and then forget about the how. That will come later. All right. So I needed to I said that on day 1. I probably said that on day 2, so I'm saying it one more time. As you create your goal, let the how come later. And if you do this very specifically, if it's double smart, like we said, it will just naturally, automatically happen. Aren't we? We all know that goal setting works, right? We know that we should set goals, write them down, and work on them. So goal setting works. This is like the ultimate way to goal set, okay? Because like Willie says, it's integrating those 3 minds together, okay? It's bringing in the left, the right, the super consciousness, okay? The conscious mind, the unconscious mind. So what mind are we using when we write a goal, when we set a goal? Which mind is that? We're consciously figuring out what we want, right? And then, but where's 95% of your results? Your unconscious mind. So we consciously write down what we want 3 years from now. Then we take that vision, very specific, and put it in our unconscious, which is our timeline. So it's pretty much that simple. So tomorrow we'll work more on getting that vision of exactly what you want. So Tim, was there anything else from Facebook that we want to cover? Any questions you guys have? We're gonna be wrapping things up here shortly. I think I covered most of what we wanted to do today. So now we're kind of going into some Q&A.
That's great. I don't see any questions right now, but you guys go ahead and type in your questions. If you have any questions, we got some, let me see here. put some great goals in on Facebook. Let me see here. Ted said, build a Tamarack 2 house on a lakefront. What's a Tamarack house? I'd like to see a picture of that. 2 college tuition pay per year. All right. Let me see. I'm scrolling up to look for yours. Some of your goals here. Retire on the beach.
Oh, good. So yeah, so people were sharing. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, really great stuff. Let me see here.
And I want to thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Willie, for helping me out today. I attract such great people. You too, Tim. I'm a you're a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, obviously, for leading our all of our presentations so far, and for the rest of the the challenge. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Let me see. Okay.
So, Richard, can I share my screen?
Yeah, yes, you may.
Let me see if I can do
Hold
that.
on. I think I need to.
Oh, I'll
step
stop.
back.
I have to stop sharing. Okay, go ahead. I think it's
Hold on. Let me make sure that. Oh yeah, you can share. Willie, go ahead.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. So remember, this is a picture of my lifestyle Mandela. Richard, remember we started off with everybody doing a lifestyle Mandela, and this just is a picture of my overall life, right? And can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
you know, this is kind of my mental well-being, financial resources, what I'm going to do, my vocation, my physical. So, and what we did is we said, let's take this one area as a collective group and let's go to Colorado and just work the financial part, because finances is such a lever to every other area of your life. Finance can even help you be more spiritual, right? Because you can contribute to causes, you can contribute to your church, synagogue, whatever you do. So money is such a resource that helps leverage every area. A vision is a picture. So this is a picture of my life. When I see it, I bring back all the stuff that I've written underneath. Then for every area, I created a mandala. So for example, you know, I believe in God, so my relationship with God, what does that look like? You know, I want to make a contribution to the world. What does that look like? So for every one of the core areas, I have a picture of and an image, my health, my relationships, my mental and emotional well-being. So it's a picture that brings in conscious, subconscious, collective consciousness to help me move toward where I want to be. I'm not into let me build an action plan, because that would put me in overwhelm. But the conscious, collective conscious wants to know, what do you want? What are you trying to create? And it will start to move you there. And so I'm just, and you know, Richard, the concept, you remember your chunking,
Yes.
break down a few chunks, right? But that's just my whole life is
Chunking
in
up and
these
chunking
Mandelas.
down. So you're chunking down into the details, right?
Exactly. But I have a picture for every area of my life. So I just wanted to share that with the group.
Thank you very much.
I have also a suggestion is audio recording. So you write out your vision plan for the 3 years of where you are and what you're receiving, and you make a audio recording as if you have it already. And you could just read what you write down and just listen to it as that affirms, and it starts to program your brain to already receiving it as well.
I have a great story on that, Brandy. Back when I was in Hawaii, back in the 80s and 90s, I was studying all this personal growth and development stuff. and I I wrote down my goal and I recorded it. Okay. And then I played it backwards to Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley music. Okay. And I'm starting to feel goosebumps right now just thinking of that song, right, in my head, because I listened to that. So I was trying to, what was I trying to do? I was trying to get by my filters, right? I was trying to program my unconscious with those goals, and I think it worked. Because I've always been super successful, but I've always been working on it, and I've done so many things. I don't know if that specifically, worked, but it sure seemed like.
Yeah. There's a lot to this conversation. I do know that I've been brought into your world, Richard, for a reason. So it's just such a great honor to know that. There's a lot of great audio recordings also on YouTube that does that with the affirmations too, especially on the millionaire mindset and the money mindset and healing the poverty brain. Yeah.
Very good. What else? We want to find out if there's any final questions and remind everybody to do your units, get those entries into, for our drawings. We're going to have more than just one grand prize drawing. We'll have other prizes as well. So just be active, do all your units, join us live. That I think we give bonus. You can go through the replay and join us live. We'd love to have you live. Tim, what else do we need? Oh,
yeah. So
by the way, one more thing, Tim. We have our expert panel tonight too. So tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we have another panel of experts. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a couple questions that came in when we elicited for questions. I wanted to see if we can just do a really quick couple minutes bonus just to answer these questions. So one of them from Marcus asked, how do you follow through on your goals instead of procrastinating? If you put it in the universe and put attention to it, it will materialize, as Abraham Hicks says. I don't know, was that a question, Marcus, or yeah, but he started out as a question. How do you follow through on your goals instead of procrastinating? Can you answer that?
Procrastinating on the actions to take the goal. It's a description of they're not conflicting values. Okay, so if you have a goal and you're not committed to it, first of all, don't set goals that you're not committed to. By definition, you should only be creating goals that are important to you and that you're committed to. And if you're not committed, it's okay, what will you commit to? Okay. But if you set a goal and you're not working towards it, you're procrastinating or whatever, it's because there's a conflicting value. So that has to be resolved. It either change the goal or change your values or resolve the conflict. Is that Willie, Brandy, you want to anything else on procrastination, not achieving your goal?
Yeah, I would. Go ahead. You go first.
You hit it on the dot. I was just about to write that quote. Accountability is what came up to me. Accountability is, once you do know that that's the goal, have somebody there to support you, right? I'm going to keep on going back to that accountability because everybody's a reflection of us. We are, we just ask for help. A key and a lock work together, not just a lock and not just a key. We need each other. And then, of course, don't create goals that you are not going to be committed to. That was brilliantly said. End of story, drop the mic.
Yeah, I think goal setting is a major diagnostic tool. So when I start to coach somebody, the first thing I do is I have them set a goal. And I'm using the goal as a teaching and learning and awareness tool. So first thing is become aware that we're not talking about how right now, we're talking about what and the value and what it means to your life. And the mind, we've trained ourselves to go back to, let's figure out how. So first, people set low goals. So think of the goal as a diagnostic tool. As you start to take action or not action towards your goal, it will show you the things that are blocking you in every other area of your life. So it becomes a tool to say, what's blocking me? Because if you set a goal, you're not taking action. One is, am I committed? Two is, if I am committed and I set a time block to take action, then what shows up? What did you do instead of taking the action that you had planned to do? See, again, it's testing commitment. Then as Richard and Brandy said, add an accountability partner, because your word to yourself is weak. So when you set a goal, you don't follow through, your word to yourself is weak. How do I now start to surround myself with things that will keep me on track? Well, accountability partner is one that can help you. Did I break the goal into smaller pieces? The number one reason why people procrastinate is it's an unpleasant task. They don't enjoy doing it. See, people don't procrastinate on eating cheesecake. They eat it, right? So there's something unpleasant that I've deemed unpleasant. And so one strategy is to do the unpleasant thing first thing in the morning, like eat the frog, says do that first unpleasant thing in the morning. But if I had to give you one key is, in addition to test your commitment, build an accountability partner, how do I build a system around me to keep me on track and keep me moving forward? And then there's also some subconscious stuff saying, see, wherever you are right today in any area, financial, health, that's who you think you are. And your subconscious mind is going to keep moving you back to that. So the work that Richard is talking about is changing that subconscious mind, which really gives you what? A new identity. Your conscious mind is going to say, that's not like us, and keep moving you back. That's why you need external support, coaches, mentors to keep pulling you into the new you, because the old you is going to die hard. It's going to go out fighting and screaming to keep you how you think you are. Doesn't maximize your potential. So that's just some quick stuff. I call procrastination the dream killer, the life killer. It kills your life. But we accept it and go, I am a procrastinator. You hear people say it, I am a procrastinator. And you go, well, then there's your trap right there. Because you see, that's who you are. And you're always going to return to who you see yourself to be. Drop the mic.
Awesome. Thank you, Willie. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's session here. Thank you so much, Richard, for an amazing session. Thank you, Brandy, for getting us getting our brains working and and absorbing everything we learned today. And thank you, Willie, for your wisdom always. And I want to give a special shout out to my wife, Frances Mai. She's been joining with us throughout the last 3 days and probably will be the next few days as well. You guys are on Facebook group. She's on there. Say hi to her. She's been bringing me drinks, food, everything I need. So really appreciate you, honey. All right, awesome. And thanks everybody on Zoom, our VIP members on Zoom. Linda, Jim, William, Damien, Amy, yay. Thanks for joining us on Zoom as well. And thanks everybody on Facebook Live. Richard, anything else?
Yeah, I'm done.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful
Take care,
day.
everybody.
Bye. Thanks.